Good evening and welcome everybody to the third in our series of town hall school community meetings about our new facility. So welcome everybody. This will be about a 15-minute presentation followed by your questions. Okay. Our new home, it's going to be in the heart of downtown's revitalization movement. We're excited to be part of that as the principal school for Albany's quote unquote newest neighborhood. Castle Island is a key component in creating a residential and metropolitan community where families can thrive. So I'm so glad that we are all a community together and we're doing this together as a group, helping to transform the capital of New York State. And there it is. There's our big, beautiful building on a bright, sunny day, like maybe we'll have on the first day of school. You can't miss it. There's a beautiful new mural done by an artist named Jade Warwick. Beautiful sunflowers, and our entrance is just to the right, and below that mural will be our main entrance. Let's see if the next slide wants to move. There we go. So this is it's a historic building. I think it used to be a mill, but it's being all constructed and renovated, built out per our specifications for a Montessori learning environment. There are 6,500 square feet, which is about the same size of the spaces we're renting now at Capital District Latinos, but it will be laid out in a way that's much more functional and more appropriate for the children's use. And one of the most important aspects, because the most important thing is the children's safety. We will have an on-site drop-off and pickup lane for cars to pull up and safely drop off their children. And we're very much looking forward to that. We will also have an on-site outdoor classroom so that children can even bring Montessori materials outside to work, or read poetry outside, or work on garden projects or science experiments. We very much look forward to that. In case you're not quite certain about which building is ours, it's directly across the street from the New York State DEC building, the Department of Environmental Conservation. It's got that big, beautiful green glass dome on its roof, and that's quite a landmark. And we're directly across the street from that building. The parking lot has been renovated. It's got fresh, clean asphalt, smooth parking and driving through, and an iron fence all the way around it. It's got a secure gate that will be open and unlocked. It'll be motion sensor activated for parents during drop off in the morning and during full day pickup at around 3:15. The rest of the time, I don't know why we don't want to advance here. There we go. The rest of the time there will be a call box to Sarah and I to open the gate for visitors if you're coming outside of the typical drop off and pickup times. I'm just having trouble switching slides. And the parking lot will exit onto Von Trump, right onto the 787 ramp. So if you've got places to commute, or if you're if 787 leads you to home at the end of the day, it'll be very convenient. That's a good sort of holistic view of the front of the entire building. Let's see, can you see my pointer? So there is, the parking lot here is higher, it's elevated than the rest of the parking lot. And just around this corner of this wooden retaining wall is where our outdoor classroom will lead to our main entrance. And there it is right there that I was describing. So that's where the main entrance will be. This door will be replaced to have a full glass door, and it'll lead down the steps to the public space of our school, which will then lead to the learning environments of the school space. And that's where the outdoor classroom will be, with a gate as well, a fence and a gate here, and wood chips. And we're looking for volunteers to help with raised planters. Let me go back a couple slides. So this is our main entrance here, and way at the other end, so the south side of the building facing east, and Broadway is here to our left. right around this stairwell tower is a back entrance, and that leads along this building here where there will be a sidewalk. So when we exit the building to go outside for play and exploration, we will exit out our back entrance, our rear entrance, along a pedestrian sidewalk, so the children will not walk through the parking lot ever. Which am I going? Here we go. And this is the back door along the pedestrian sidewalk. So I took these pictures, I think in April. So this had not yet been renovated, but the sidewalk will be not gravel, it will be all finished out. And that will lead us next door. We will cross Columbia Street to Tricentennial Park. There, the downtown BID, the Business Improvement District, is in the process of submitting a grant to the state for some funds to have this entire park renovated. It has a lot of hardscape right now, and the plan is to make it a greener space with a fenced children's area. And that's anticipated to happen sooner than later. And so we eagerly anticipate that. In the meantime, the children will play here. There is some grassy area for them to play and some hardscape area, just like the courtyard where we had been playing for the past 3 years at Capital District Latinos. That was exclusively hardscape. And so here we'll have at least some access to grass. The teachers will be posted on all corners, and the children will have very firm instructions about where they may play and where they may not step. So you may not step off of this curb, for example. And for those of you who don't know me, I am a parent of 4 children. They are all boys. I have 4 sons, and I understand worries and concerns of children running away. You know, oh my goodness, that is terribly dangerous. When my oldest child was 4 years old and going to preschool for the first time, that was in Utica, New York, and his Montessori school is actually also in a downtown area. And I was very, very nervous about that. And after the first few days, and I came early to see what recess looked like, I realized that how children are at school with their teachers is just a lot different sometimes, for better or for worse. They tend to listen to their teachers sometimes more than their parents. And as much as this dismays us, it is, you know, satisfying and comforting to know that they're being well cared for at school. We only want their safety, and that is the only thing that we're paying attention to, and they will be safe while they are at Tricentennial Park, just like they are during our summer camp and during the school year when we walk to Washington Park. And gratefully, we only have one street to cross here. It is not a busy street, and we look forward to being able to access outdoors daily, which is really, after safety, probably our second priority. Okay. On the other side of the parking lot, across this is Von Trump right here. You might recognize this tall building with 677 Prime, a popular restaurant. So across this street, Von Trump, which is one way and not busy, under the bridge and across, I think it's Clinton's right over there, across Clinton with the crosswalks. And that will lead us to, okay, let's all orient ourselves very quickly. Here's the Hudson River. And here's Tricentennial Park. I hope you can see the cursor. So here's our new building space. So we'll cross here, walk along this grassy area, across here, and that's the Skyway entrance right here across Broadway. And the Skyway will be a landscaped pedestrian walkway completely closed off to cars. It's already happened. Like, you can't drive your car here anymore. This is will be a landscaped. We'll have sculptures, we'll have all kinds of interesting things, water features, I believe, and we'll walk over and around here. And I think the next picture will help a little bit. Here's a rendering of what it might look like. So as you walk around here, there'll be a crosswalk here, and then here's the playground. So this will probably not be a walk that we do every day, but I can foresee that at least once a week, the 3 to 6 year olds will be able to access this beautiful Corning Preserve area on the Hudson River and playground equipment, and the elementary children with probably much more frequency. And so these are some aspects of our new location that I'm excited to highlight for you tonight. Let's take a tour inside the school really quickly. These are the floor plans, and the floor plans are kind of long and narrow, so they didn't fit on the engineer's paper. their paper dimensions. So on this dotted line, the building is split in half, and here is the other half down here. So this dotted line here attaches to this line up here. Okay, so here's our entrance. We're going to come down a couple of steps into a vestibule, an open reception area where Sarah and I will greet you. We'll have a staff room here, including a dishwasher so that we can properly sanitize dishes if and when we can resume community snack again. So we're looking forward to that. We'll also have a washer dryer, so the children's work rugs can be washed. If there's anything else that needs washing, we can take care of that. And here will be our open library, this yellow area here. So we will take all of our library furniture, our over 1,000 volumes of books in English and Spanish, children's books and chapter books, and we'll relocate them here. We'll also have this space for music and movement. So this will be sort of like a conservatory. I like to call it a conservatory because there'll be music and books and maybe some plants involved here. There will be a janitor closet and a staff bathroom here. And then through this doorway, here we are up here, this doorway. This is our multi-purpose space. Now this picture and this drawing is very, very small and it's hard to get the perspectives. But if you know our current location and the size of our current auditorium, this green space, if this was a rectangle here, it's just about the same size. So I hope that gives it some perspective. This is an enormous space. There will be standing bookshelves here and cabinetry, and then this will be our art studio and our aftercare space right here, so that there's good flow for gross motor play after school and small motor play and snack here. And then through this doorway, we enter the learning environment vestibule here. So this is like coming to your home away from home, arriving at your school community classroom. Elementary will be here on the right. It will be at least 50% bigger than the current elementary classroom as far as square footage. And here are the two primary classrooms, which will be about the same size. Primary will share a bathroom. There's a toilet there and sinks in each classroom. And elementary will have its bathroom here. You see the toilet, and we'll have two lockable doors so that if there's a movement class happening in the multi-purpose space, they'll have access to the bathroom as well. These are windows. They're glass panels. They don't open, but they let in light and visual. So there will be so much light coming in all the way through, and small children and older children will be able to see each other working. And through here, we have some storage, and this is our rear exit so that we can escape for emergencies, of course, but also to go to Tricentennial Park or the Skyway. Okay, that was a big tour, and I have some new photos to share with you tonight. So we are working with Redburn Development, who is doing the build out for us, and we finally received the permits from the City of Albany just last week. So construction has begun. So I'm happy to celebrate that with you tonight. And so here are some photos. You can see how, sort of get some perspective on how large the space is there. Come on, there we go. You can see a lot of materials have arrived, and here are the big bright windows that will let in so much light for the classrooms. And this is a photo that's, this is an older photo of the initial space with reception, library, and the staff room. But these photos are from just today, where they're refinishing the terrazzo. Let's see. There we go. And the design team at Redburn is working very carefully to make sure that the finishes are just right for our school, that reflect our school colors, and warm and natural textures that will sort of be soothing so that children are focused on their activity, whether it's a Montessori material and lesson, or if it's reading, or their artwork, or their sports movement, or movement with music and dance. They'll be able to focus and feel at home and comfortable. I really like these wooden panels for the entry vestibule, and for the lower portion, let's say from maybe 4 feet to the floor of the multi-purpose space. I don't know if you can see carefully, but they're hexagon. So they kind of look like a beehive. And I'm wondering if we'll call the multi-purpose space a hive. And eventually our space will be beautiful, just as it has been over the last few years. This photo is actually from our very first location at the Boys and Girls Club on Delaware Avenue. And that building was built in 1959 and has sort of a similar roof line, ceiling line as the new space. See if you can see a photo of that. You see the roof, the ceiling right here, really tall and beautiful with great texture. And so we're getting there. We're getting there. Let's look at who our partners are. Of course, we're working with Redburn Development. Capital District Latinos will remain our partners, and we will co-promote for events and flourishing our community centers. The City of Albany, of course, a downtown bid. The Washington Park Conservancy, because they're renovating their children's playground. And so we'll take some cues from what's going on there as we influence the renovation of the Tricentennial Park. Woodland Hill Montessori is one of our partner schools. Albany Public Libraries, the elementary children especially, will be able to walk to the Howe branch and the main branch libraries. Albany Institute of History and Art, we will continue doing series of workshops with them for the elementary. The Radek Center is an urban farm in the Mansion District, where we'll be able to take field trips and do some learning workshops there about agriculture and urban centers. And the Free School, which is an alternative school and also in the Mansion District, they have a program and property in Grafton that we'll hopefully be able to take advantage of, as well as in North Albany, Trivoli Park has a sheep farm. So we look forward to developing our elementary program, as well as some opportunities for the primary as well with these partners. Okay, here's our timeline. We've got another checked off. We got the permits. The permits took much longer than everyone anticipated. Everyone thought 10 days to 2 weeks. It actually took closer to probably 10 weeks. There's a lot of construction going on post-quarantine, post-lockdown, and the city has just been backlogged with processing the permits. So although we got the zoning approval right away, no problem, we had to wait so long for permits. So construction has started. It started Monday, maybe Friday. So it's happening, but it's just started. And therefore, the construction build out will continue throughout July and through October. And that's where we're at right now. So in September, when we have that all parent back to school meeting, that's when we'll make the announcement about when we're going to move. So we have two options. We can either move Veterans Day, which is November 11th, and we'll close school the 10th and the 12th as well. So we'll have 3 days to move and set up. Or if the construction delays are what they are and we're not able to move at that time, nobody wants to move over Thanksgiving or the holidays. So, we'll just hold tight where we are. And then, in the middle of the holiday break, the staff and I will, and volunteers, we will take 3 days or so and move so that when we come back in January, we'll be in the new space. So hang tight. The all parent meeting in September will make an announcement, and we'll have a revised calendar if we decide to move in December. We'll see. Either way, we're going to have a new home and it will be wonderful. And when we do move, we will have a tour and orientation on the first day for all of our current families at 8 o'clock in the morning. So we'll have just at drop off time will be a short meeting so everybody understands drop off and pick up procedures, and then a tour of the facility, and then we'll start school right away at probably 9 o'clock, and then we'll have a regular school day. And then at some point in the future, when the weather is good, we'll have a beautiful ribbon cutting and grand opening. This is what our school year will look like. We're going to start in Bradford Street. We're right where we are. Everything will feel familiar and be comfortable. We all know the routines at Bradford Street. September 2nd at 6 p.m. is the all parent back to school meeting. It will be virtual. It will be recorded. So if you miss it, then I will schedule a time to sit with you if you have any questions. So make sure that everybody sees the back to school meeting, especially as it relates to what we're doing with health safety, if there are any new protocols. And September 17th, we're going to have a desfile de faroles. This is our 3rd annual lantern parade. This year, it will be conducted on the lawn in front of the Dewey Library at UAlbany downtown campus. We're looking forward to that. And something new this year, for International Peace Day, we're inviting grandparents or a special friend to come to school for a tea. Look forward to that. That's a Tuesday, September 21st, 10 in the morning. About a half an hour, 45-minute event. Tell your grandparents. In October, we'll be getting ready to get ready. We'll have our regular annual Fall Parent Workshop. The Fall Parent Workshop falls during Hispanic Heritage Month, and so it usually is a focus on bilingual education. And what does that look like in our Montessori school? We'll have a fall fiesta this year. Will be an international celebration. We hope it can be in person, so time will tell. Preparation for moving then, we'll do a box collection drive. We're calling all boxes, especially those copy paper boxes with the lids are perfect for moving. And we'll do some pre-packing of non-essential things. November, hopefully, will be when we move. And we'll do a school visit day, the first day of school at the new location. And if we move in November, then our first family event will be our Heritage Potluck and school community-wide talent show. And that'll be a great way to celebrate our new space. And so our next meeting for parents is the all parent back to school meeting Thursday, September 2nd, 6 p.m. via Zoom. And that is the presentation I have for you tonight. If you have a question, please unmute your mic, ask a question. Any questions about the facilities are welcome. If you have questions about procedures or what to bring for the first day of school, what does the school day look like, you could email those to me, or give me a call, or wait to the all parent back to school meeting to ask those questions. So what questions do you have about our new facility?
Took a little false on. Hello. Hi, it's Christy Chin. I know you had spoken about the park, the Tricentennial Park that the kids will be going to. I'm trying to figure out, because I went and I saw it this past week, and I'm trying to, I guess the green is, are they going to be exclusively playing on the green space, on the hardscape? Just, seeing the park, it looked like the green space was very small and there were holes and there was at least one tree stump, and I don't know if any of that is slated to be cleaned up, if we're going to hope the kids don't injure themselves on it, if they're going to be on the hardscape at all, because obviously it's very uneven. It literally looks like there's a wave through it. It's kind of interesting. But I know I was personally pretty concerned when I saw it, so I was wondering if you can just address that a little bit more, where exactly they'll be playing.
Sure, I'm happy to answer that. Oh. Yeah.
Yes, that's it. Thank you.
I'm happy to answer that, Christy. It's a great question. Of course, we all want our children to be safe. And, at our school, we follow the child. So, we don't have it specifically mapped out yet. We'll try, we'll border off, is that the right word? We'll sort of border off an area. We'll designate with the children, from point A to point B to point C to point D. Those are the 4 corners. What I think it'll likely start part of it on the grassy area and part of it on the hardscape. Certainly all the children wouldn't fit on that grassy area for sure. You got that right. And then we'll go from there. If it seems like everyone's tripping over the stump, although I don't foresee that to be the case, then, we'll move to the hardscape. If it seems like everyone's stumbling on the hardscape, then, we'll make a new plan for sure. We're very adaptable and flexible, and we adapt and change in order to meet the needs of the child. And of course, that first need is safety. And that's sort of how it will be. So as I mentioned, for the last 3 years, we've been at Capital District Latinos, where we have a big, beautiful courtyard that unfortunately we can't use anymore. And it was exclusively hardscape. And so part of the children's becoming independent and confidence with their independence is sort of negotiate what's out in the world. Sometimes there's hardscapes to play in, for better or for worse, especially in a metropolitan style school. And so we chose to have our school in downtown Albany intentionally. And with that comes some adaptations to where we play, and hardscape will be part of the children's play. We're so excited to have access to the Skyway so that we can go to a place that's primarily green space, and having that access to the Corning Preserve, which is a nature preserve, and to be able to walk along the trail and walk into the grassy areas when they're doing nature explorations and playing big games like soccer or soccer style games. Those will be excellent opportunities for the children. But, rest assured, we will keep your child safe.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead. The safety is it's the main concern. It's also about like injury. It's just, I said, I have no problem with hardscape personally. It was just extremely uneven hardscape. I was surprised, it was in such rough shape.
Yeah.
So, but there is like a backup. I mean, like, so nothing's slated to be fixed, it sounds like, on the green space or anything, but there is flexibility if it just seems like it's not working out for all the kids, where you would stop going or access the Corning Preserve more or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. And it looks like we have a couple of options that we can explore. One would be the front lawn of the SUNY administration building. That's the former train station, that Gothic Harry Potter looking thing. So that might be an option. There's another a child's group. I think there's a daycare or childcare that uses it on a pretty daily basis. So that's one possibility. The other is on the other side of Von Trump, on the other side of that ramp, there's a dog park, but next to the dog park, which is totally fenced, that is, the dog park is fenced. Outside of that is a pretty large green area. I mean, that's on Clinton. So I personally am not in favor of that area. I think it probably would be fine. The teachers would line up the sidewalk on the Clinton Ave side. It's a much bigger green space. So that's something we could take a look at. On the other side of Clinton, where there is a metal sculpture of a tulip, there's some green space on hardscape there. There will be a farmer's market there once a week. I don't even know if it's a weekday, but that area is being developed to be more of a public park space. It's a possibility too. But as I mentioned in the presentation, the entire park of Tricentennial Park is going to be renovated. I'm not a landscape architect. I don't know the proper words, but all of that hardscape is going to be gutted. I don't know if that's, it's all going to be taken out, and it's going to be completely redesigned. So yeah, I think it's the unevenness of the hardscape is something that's on a lot of people's radar downtown.
Yeah, I would think. When they're not sure when that's going to be.
Wheels were in motion pre-COVID, and then it was paused. And so I think people are picking up where they left off. So I don't want to tell you a date because there's no date to announce, but I
know if it was like, months or years or what.
I would say the earliest would be 18 months, probably.
Okay. And then my final question would be, when there's the 4 adults out there watching, how many kids are out there for those 4 adults?
Yeah, so we don't have a schedule yet to see what exactly that would look like, if we take out 1 class at a time or 2 classes at a time, or if we mix older kids and younger kids and, flip-flop them from inside and outside. We'll work that out. But ratio would be something like 1 to 10.
Thank you.
Yeah. Other questions?
Diane, there was a question in the chat.
Oh, I was trying to keep it. Oh, it was hidden under the participants window. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. Heather asks, what is the plan for daily outside time while still in the current building and also during after school? Great question. So approximately 3 days a week, we're planning to go to Washington Park during September, October, and the start of November, and then hopefully we'll relocate. In December, we get to get colder weather or sloppy weather. We'll try to keep going. We have to make sure that everybody's got cold weather clothes available at school in order to make that happen. We've sort of adjusted our daily schedule to make that possible. The staff and I had some meeting days at the end of school after our end of year picnic, and we made that a priority, that we could walk to Washington Park at least 3 days a week. For aftercare, September and October, it might be possible. What happens in December is it gets dark really quickly. So that gets to be tricky. The other thing about aftercare is that parents pick up at any hour. So we have to kind of be on campus for pickup. At the new building, we anticipate having, walkie-talkies through our phones so that if somebody picks up early, somebody can walk them from Tricentennial Park. But we will be able to go outside again for aftercare once we relocate. And that's really exciting. You're welcome. These are all great questions, and I'm so glad everybody was able to attend tonight. It's 6:35 now, so we've had a recorded meeting for 30 minutes, and I'm happy to close the meeting, let you get on with your Thursday evening activities. As your questions come up, please always feel free to email me or call, or we can schedule a personalized Zoom meeting. I think we can do in-person meetings at this point too. So we can do that, and I'd be happy to see you in person again. I wish you all a lovely evening, a lovely August, and look forward to our all parent back to school meeting Thursday, September 2nd at 6 o'clock. Good evening, everybody.